And we're back again with another video. And today we're going to talk about how dealers make money off you with financing and how they don't have to disclose to you how much they're making when they put you through one of their banks. Alright folks, so I'm sitting here editing this video right now and I realized I'm at 59,607 subscribers. And not everyone who's watching the videos, even not everyone who's commenting, is even subscribed. And I have a personal goal to get to 100,000 subscribers. I want to get that plaque more than you can possibly imagine. It's been a challenge of mine, been at this for 5 years now, and it's just dragging. But I believe, especially with the amount of views we're getting lately, if let's say I have 3,000 views on this thing, and every single one of you, just if you liked the video, went and clicked subscribe and hit the like button, just took 1 second to do that, it's completely free, did that, then I can quickly get past the 60,000 point and get to 70, 80, 90, 100. If I'm pumping this many videos out, if you all will just simply take a second, hit subscribe. And here's the good news. If you hit the bell, you most likely should get notified when I upload. So you'll know immediately when a video goes up. But if you don't hit the bell, it's still not even going to bother you. But at least I've got the subscriber, and at least once in a while, I end up in your recommended, and you get to see a video that hopefully will help you save some money and give you some great ideas on the cars. I have some really cool stuff coming. I'm doing a video in another week or so on this Trackhawk GPS and security feature for my Dodge Swinger because I don't want to get that thing stolen, and some more good stuff. And I am committed to just helping save you all money. I'm taking the role as a consumer advocate right now, and I really appreciate it because there's only way I make money on this thing is with views, watching these ads, and liking, subscribing, and growing this channel. So I will continue to do this, and I will continue to dig for the information and do the research. Just help me out. Like, subscribe, throw a comment, even if it's just a thumbs up. It'll help with the algorithm. I appreciate it. Let's get back to the video. But first, I want to quickly address some of the comments in my last video about the lawsuits that lawyers are taking up right now against dealerships who have misrepresented a price in an ad versus the markup that is suddenly discovered at the dealership, and how it seems like at least 4 or 5 of you had to comment that good luck with that. And I'm thinking the dealers are chiming in. We're doing good, folks, because we're making the dealers really, really mad right now because they're starting to chime in more and more, and they hate this because we're exposing them. By the way, plenty of videos about this stuff, but my audience is getting, I think you all are getting information that can make you stronger against them, and they don't like it. Because for many years, at least at the Dodge dealerships, it feels like people have just been walking in and rolling over because we love these cars so much. We lose our ever-loving minds when we get there, and we picture ourselves driving them, and we figure we'll pay whatever, and we run, and then we regret it later on because we're paying too much money for the cars. So I will tell you that these dealerships are upset, and they're commenting, about every aspect of my videos. Yes, the last video I did on the lawsuits, they're saying, good luck with that. These things will never happen. This will never happen. Lawsuits will never go through. These things will never make it to trial. And you know what? They're right. According to the American Judges Association, 97% of lawsuits end in a settlement. And the way I look at it is, if you lied to this customer about the price in an ad and then sold them that car for $10,000 or $15,000 over in the last year or so, and now this attorney files a lawsuit against them, assuming there's no mediation or arbitration requirements there, and I'm not an attorney, not giving lawyer advice or attorney advice, but legal advice, but let's say they don't have that, they go to, if they do, they're still gonna have to go to a room and fight this thing out and likely settle. But they file the lawsuit against them, their attorneys get mobilized, and they start to rack up bills. As this guy, your attorney's doing it on a full-blown contingency, most likely. They're spending money. They'd have to write their response to the lawsuit, and that's going to cost them money as well. Discovery has to be shared between each other as far as the proof. Your proof is, here's an ad that shows the car for $104,000. Here's the price I got stuck with a market adjustment of $30,000, and for that reason, I was misled. What's their response going to be to that? Well, their response is going to be, what does he want to go away? And because 97% of these things settle, that's probably going to equate to some money. Now, yes, you got to pay your attorney a percentage of that, and you're going to get something left. But what if you paid a $30,000 markup and were misled legitimately, and you have them dead to rights? How do they defend that? So it's a lot easier, rather than go lose the whole 30 grand and drop another 30 grand in defense attorney costs and court fees and everything else, not to mention the time it takes to go through this. Why wouldn't they just call your attorney and say, you know what? Would he take 10? And then they go, no. Would he take 15? No. Would he take 20? Make it 22.5. We got a deal. The attorney takes $5,000 or $6,000. You get the rest of the money. You send me a direct message and say, wow, thanks for doing that video. And everybody's happy. That's how that's really going to work when it happens. Now, if you file a lawsuit against a dealership and you don't have a good case, but you just want to punish them because you feel like you shouldn't have paid the markup, you're probably not going to have that same outcome. And to an extent, the dealer may stand up and say, you know, we'll settle for, we'll give him $2,500 to go away, because they know that you know on some level that your case is weak. But if you have a strong case, this thing's going to end in a settlement. It's not going to go to trial. That's why attorneys offer contingencies. If an attorney had to go to trial, the attorney would have to charge a lot more money. And the reality of it is, most contingency agreements, in my experience, having been a plaintiff once before, has some clauses in their agreement that the costs start to be shared or borne by you if it ends up having to go too deep into trial. So everybody's motivation is to settle those things. So that's how they're going to go as they go. I do have a call set up with that attorney, and I'm hoping I can put together a video with him to share with you all kinds of really cool stuff that he shared with me last night in my Instagram messages that he's done research on, and how he's going to be winning, if not already winning, against these dealers. So now let's talk about the financing spread. It's just really important that you all understand this. I've said forever, you need to get your own financing and then show up to the dealership with your pre-approved loan. You know what rate it's going to be, you can figure out what your payments are going to be, and you can just negotiate on price alone and add-ons and markups. You can just work on those things. Don't involve your loan, and you'll be much better off. But why? Well, I think you deserve to know why. And I discovered back when I was buying other cars, but two situations. One was at the Toyota dealership when I bought my black Camry a couple years ago, and that car, I went in with my pre-approved loan. I think it was at 3.9%, and I told them, you can do the financing if you can beat my 3.9. So they ran my credit, and they came back and gave me the whole rigmarole of, well, no, you're tier 2 because you're like 697 or something at the time. You're tier 2 and a perfect credit, but tier 2, and we can't get you, we can't get you the tier 1. So unfortunately, your rate would be a lot higher. You'd be more around, 7.5%. Now this is before rates went up and everything. So, and I was like, well then, pound sand, eat dirt. I'm good. I'll just, do my loan. I'll use my loan. Nah, we're sorry, and just made me feel like crap. And I even got irritated, and I recorded this. It might be on one of my videos, where I finally just said, you know what, you guys are trying to make me feel bad. Like I'm feeling bad. I'm a customer and you're spending money with you, and you're trying to make me feel bad, like I'm a loser. My credit's perfect. I use it so things go up and down, but perfect. And you're beating me up on a FICO score. By the way, there's like 30 different FICO scores. So which one are you using? You're using an old version of Experian Auto. The new version of Experian Auto has me at 757. So, you guys are just using the crappy. And by the way, dealers like to do that. Use the crappiest FICO score, even though the banks they're running you with use the newer version of the FICO score that may be significantly higher, because they'll come out and make you feel bad. And they do that because they want to stick you with the spread. So what I told that sales manager at Toyota, I said, you know what? You're making me feel bad. You're making me, like, I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling angry now because you're treating me like I'm stupid. You're treating me like I don't have any money. How about I just stroke a check for that car and then light it on fire in the parking lot, and we can roast some marshmallows on it? Like, I opened up my bank account and I showed them the multiple six figures of cash in the bank, and I said, I'll just write a check for the car. How about that? And then we'll just walk. I don't even need the credit union, because my ego got involved, because they want you to get irritated and upset. And in the end, I said, no, I'm just going to use my credit union, and I'm good, and just wrap up the deal. And they said, okay, fine. Sorry about that. And I'm like, wow, you just have to say that to me. What's your credit look like, lady? It was just irritating. So I ended up back at finance, and I'm doing the final paperwork with him, and he goes, why aren't you going through Toyota Financial? I'm like, because they told me I was a big fat loser and I had horrible credit. And he's like, your credit's perfect. What are you talking about? You're approved here. On my screen, it shows you approved through Toyota Financial for like 2.9%. And I looked at him, I'm like, Like, where's the real Slim Shady song? Because it needs to be playing right now, because those two clowns out there in the showroom just tried to tell me that I was a big fat loser, and now I get in here and you're telling me that I'm the greatest freaking credit guy in the universe. And Toyota League says, yeah, you have history with Toyota, for God's sake. And I was like, you know what, dude? I think his name was Juan or something. I was like, whatever. I'll take the 2.9 though. Let's boogie. He goes, great. He's happy because Toyota wants to do the loan for a past customer with really good credit who's going to pay that loan and pay that interest. 2.9 beats the crap out of not getting the loan. So I ended up doing the loan through him. And then I started doing some research, just a little bit, and I was trying to understand why. And I found some information. And that information led me to what I'm going to share with you in a minute. But the other time this happened was when I bought, I think it was the blue Scat Pack. And I'm out there trying to get the loan in place through Chase. Chase approved me. Chase approved me at a different dealership. Yes, when the dealership changed the price on me. So the dealership, because I didn't go in with Navy Fed, I said, go ahead and do it. So this is where I've learned all these lessons. So Chase had approved me, and they approved me at a really good interest rate. It was like, I think it was, again, 4.5 or 5 or something. It was really good at the time. And I said, yeah, that's great. But then the dealership comes back and says, oh, sorry, we can't sell you that car for MSRP. Unfortunately, there is a markup. We made a mistake. So I was like, go to hell, pound sand. And that's when I went to, I think it was Napleton's, to get the blue, when I found the blue Scat Pack out in Illinois. So I had to change. And of course, Napleton's like, well, we have to run you all over again. I'm like, oh, geez. No, I'm already approved through Chase. Let me call Chase and get them to do the loan here. Are you with Chase? He goes, yeah, but if it's with that dealership, we can't get it. You have to call them and then get it moved over or something. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Who cares? If Chase is willing to do it at 5%, then why can't you just put it through Chase? Well, we have to run it all over again. You know why? Here's why, folks. Here's the punchline. Because there's a spread. I was probably approved for 3%, but they were taking a 2% spread at that other dealership. And then Napleton's, of course, is probably going to do the same thing. I don't know, but I got that loan moved. I called Chase. Chase did not want to tell me that why I had to go to them. I was like, why do I have to go to you? Why does it even matter? Why can't I just go directly through you now and just show up and get the thing? No, you have to go through the dealership because you went to the dealership first. So we have to move it over to that dealership and call them and then get everything in place with them. Here's why. Because they have a buy rate. And that buy rate is anywhere from 1 to, I think the max is like 2.5%. I've heard dealers breaking that rule. I know that seems shocking to you, but breaking that rule, but about up to 2.5% generally, where they're making a spread. So maybe they were making a 1 or 2 or 2.5% spread, and that's why I had to go directly to the dealership, because the dealership's making money on that financing. I know all of you know this already, but I don't know that you know how much money that equates to. So I'm going to share with you an example. So I've got a great example here. An additional 2% interest can really add up with the life of the loan. For example, if you're borrowing $25,000 over a 60-month term, a 2% finance commission, the spread, would come out to $1,291. That is the profit the dealer would make on a 2% finance reserve. That's what it's called. So here's the deal. Times that by 4, call it a $100,000 loan, and that's a $5,000 spiff that the dealer makes for hitting you with 2% over their buy rate. Now, I have no problem with them making a little bit of money. If the rate's great, if it's beating my credit union, I have no problem with them making that money. But the fact that they have no obligation to disclose to us what their buy rate is, you can ask them, but I don't think they're going to tell you what their buy rate is, and they're not going to tell you how much they're bouncing it up on you. That it goes back to, you need to go get your own financing in place, so at least you know your par. But if they tell you they got you approved through Chase at 5 or 6%, or Ally, or one of these other banks, there's a good at let's say 6 or 7 or 8, 9, nowadays 10%. There's a chance you're an 8% interest rate guy. And if you had gone directly through them, or maybe you can still go directly through them and just go reapply for the loan, take a step back, and you end up getting that thing for 8%, it's going to save you a bunch of money every single month. But is the dealer deciding the price they're going to sell you based on the extra commission they're going to get? I would love to think that they are, and I think some dealerships are, calculating that into their total profit that they're going to make on that car. With that said, the level of greed has reached astronomical proportions at this point, meaning that no, they're probably counting all that money and wanting to have this triple win where they can get you on financing, warranties, add-ons, markups, everything, and then hit you on the financing as well. So I have another example right here of a dealership, an unscrupulous dealership that figured out how to just break the rules and do a 5% spread. And check this out, because you always hear about those buyers out there that are getting hit with 13, 14, 15% interest. They're like, but I'm at a 640 credit score. Well, I don't think you should get a 6, unless you had a repo in the past, something like that. It's probably not 15 or 16. I'm thinking, suspecting, maybe there's a chance that they were hitting them with a 5% spread. Against the law, against the rules, maybe they were doing that. I don't know. I got to imagine on some level, some of these bad credit lenders might be playing games with the dealerships. The reason why we suspect that is because they don't have a long history of integrity. So here's some math. A 5% interest hike on a $25,000 loan over 60 months is $3,306 in profit to the dealership. We ain't getting $25,000 loans, folks. We're getting $100,000 loans. So a $100,000 loan, that'd be 25,000 times 4. That's $13,000 additional profit to the dealership. And they're acting like they're not making any money. But now you look at it, well, I'm making $15,000, $20,000, $30,000. They're making more money than the people selling houses are making. These guys are making 10, 15, let's 30, 40, 50, 60 on demons, $100,000, $110,000 in profits on cars. That is insane. We're talking about upwards of 25 to 30% of the car value with the markups and all this other stuff they're adding in, add-ons, $5,000 window tint, and everything else. So for that reason, I caution you all to walk in with your own financing, do a 3-day contract where you can pay the car with your own financing if you want. If you want to get their financing because you just want to see what they'll give you, get 3 days to be able to go out and shop their rate against the market rates. If you didn't show up with your own loan, which you should do, but if you didn't, ask for 3 days. If they say, no, we're not giving you 3 days, we're not doing this, it's because they're banking on that commission on that deal. Sometimes you can say, listen, if you could tell me what the rate's going to be with your dealership, with your spread, with your sell rate versus your buy rate, with your reserve. Tell me what your rate will be, because I know you're charging me 1 or 2 or 3% or 2.5% over. Tell me what your rate's going to be. I don't mind you making that money, but we've got to figure out the right price on this car. Because what's really nice is there's no prepayment penalties. So what you can do is you can take that loan, and if you're going to pay cash later, or you have the money, or you want to refinance it a week later, you can do that deal and then drive away and just pay off that damn loan. And that's on them. And there's something called a chargeback. The dealer will get charged back for any commissions and fees that they did get paid for originating that loan, but that's not your problem. So even if you don't have a 3-day contract, you can still go pay that loan off and out and unravel that thing, but use the financing strategy to get them to come down a little bit on the price. And dealers, I know you hate me for this. I know you're mad about this. I know this sucks because you're gonna have a whole bunch of people walking in dealerships asking you, what's your buy rate? What's the spread on your financing? What rate can you give me? And by the way, if you can match my rate, I don't care if you make a spread on me. But the fact that they don't have to disclose this to you, they don't have to tell you what the bank actually approved you at, and they can stick their spread on there without saying a single word to you is shocking, considering that there's people out there that could have got a $1,000 payment. Instead, they've got $1,100 payment because of that spread, had they just went out, got their own financing, or went directly to one of these banks to get that financing. So with that, everybody, please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.